It is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Spring 2021 graduation ceremony of the Department of Molecular, Cellular, and Developmental Biology. MCDB, to keep it short and simple, although I'm sure our graduates realize that the time and effort required in this difficult major was not short and the content was not simple. I'm Lee Neiswander, Chair of MCDB, and we wish we could be physically together to celebrate your accomplishments. However, for the safety of you, your family, and your community, we're holding a virtual graduation ceremony. Yet, even at a distance, your accomplishments ring loud and clear, and we salute you, graduates. So reflect back from when you started at the University of Colorado to where you are now. The journey you have taken and your growth in knowledge and experiences over these past years is tremendous and a highly notable accomplishment that we celebrate today. Your growth involved a lot of hard work, hopefully a lot of fun, as well as the uncertainties and worries along the way as you met intellectual and personal challenges head on. Some of that growth you could not anticipate. If you think of your peers and your professors you came to know and how they opened your eyes to new ideas and new ways of thinking, their influence will stay with you as you go forward in life and has helped to shape the person that you are now. Consider this past year and the tumult it produced in your personal life, in your education process, in your community, nationally and globally. The challenges of the pandemic over this final year, certainly this was not what we expected with remote learning and severely limited interactions. We all look forward to turning this corner and gathering together again. And our community has experienced deep loss and trauma. Some of you have mourned family members lost over this difficult year, and we extend our deep sympathies to you, your family, and friends. We've also collectively mourned too much death and trauma, from COVID infections, from shootings here in Boulder, to shootings of Black and Brown people across the country, to anti-Asian racism, and to widespread injustices. My sincere wish is that you will help to spread peace and tolerance, and that we listen to, learn from, and respect all who cross our path as you leave CU Boulder and continue on your journey. What shines through all of these challenges is your resilience. And from all these opportunities and challenges, you've emerged on the other side as a university graduate with a deep knowledge in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology. MCDB is a world-class scientific department with an outstanding reputation, and you will carry that reputation forward with you. And as you go forward, the road is paved with hundreds of opportunities now that you have the knowledge gained in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology. And this is beyond a textbook understanding. You've learned how to integrate information into a bigger viewpoint. You learned how to gather and evaluate data and how to make informed decisions. Spread your knowledge to the many people you will encounter on your path as you leave CU. Continue to make educated decisions and help others to make educated decisions. You know that questions are complex and there's often not a black and white answer. But you've developed logic and critical thinking skills to distinguish between what is valid and what is not. Because you, as scientists, can and should play an important role in the discussion. So as an immediate example, the knowledge you've gained in molecular and cellular biology provides you with the insight behind the science related to the COVID effects on our health, the methods underlying testing, and the effectiveness of drugs to treat COVID symptoms and vaccines to prevent infection. So some of you have been directly involved in keeping our community safe by helping with COVID testing and contact tracing. You also know about mRNA and the wealth of studies done over many years that allowed the field to be able to step forward quickly to create highly effective and safe vaccines. The extraordinary dedication and cooperation amongst scientists literally working around the clock, made this possible to make these effective vaccines, and it lays the exciting foundation for future vaccine development. Use your skills to help your family and friends and community to understand the incredible scientific advances being made. Help them also to sort through the hype and the hyperbole. There can often be conflicting claims, so help them to reach a sound conclusion. Be their guide as we move forward and reset with science driving our responses and our considerations. Be a source of knowledge and a force for positive reflection and change. You are the shakers and dreamers. Our communities, our country, and the world need you and the thoughtful leadership you can provide. So graduates, you've accomplished so much. MCDB is a difficult major. I hope and expect that what you've learned here carries you forward throughout the next stages of life, whatever path you may pursue. Your goals may shift, and they likely will, but be open to this. This is the value of a broad arts and sciences degree with your focus in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology. This will provide you with the flexibility to pursue whatever dream you may have. Relatives, your students have worked hard in one of the toughest programs in the college, and they've succeeded. I'm sure you're very proud of your student. And graduates, your accomplishments rise high, and I'm sure that you have great pride in all that you've achieved. And so graduates, please thank also your family, your friends, and your classmates and your professors for all their support of your education and growth. So with my heartfelt congratulations, go forth, Buffs, and help to change the world for the betterment of all. And now I would like to acknowledge others involved in today's ceremony, our wonderful educators, Professor Nancy Giles, Professor Jennifer Martin, and Professor Jenny Knight, who've been with you since freshman year. Jennifer Martin is also the chair of our MCDB Honors Program for students who carried out honors thesis research. And Jenny Knight will read the names of the MCDB graduates. We also have graduate students who are receiving their Doctor of Philosophy or PhD. I would like to congratulate them on their accomplishments and to thank their thesis advisors for the journey they have taken together to achieve this major milestone. I would also like to acknowledge Professor Tintin Su, the director of our PhD graduate program, and Professor Ken Crowder, Associate Chair of MCDB. It is now my pleasure to introduce two of your peers to provide a student graduate address. We thought it would be fitting to hear from two graduating MCDB students to offer their perspective to this celebration. The faculty has selected Gracie Sapp and Hannah Kuhn-Gale for this honor. And each of you had a unique experience in MCDB and CU Boulder, but I'm sure there'll be commonality along your paths to today's celebration. Thank you, Gracie and Hannah, for your address to your fellow graduates.
Thank you to Dr. Giles and to the MCDB department for asking me to speak at such a momentous occasion. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. My name is Gracie Sapp, and I'm graduating with my degree in MCDB, and I am honored to be addressing you all today. Like many of you, I'm still in shock at just how fast these past 4 years have gone by. From spending endless nights getting lost in the Northland Stacks, to spending way too much money at Foolish Craig's and Gold Biosciences, something I'm pretty guilty of, these past few years have just been some of the best. For me, graduation brings excitement, nervousness, anticipation, hope, a bittersweet feeling, and even a little sadness. This is not the traditional senior year we were hoping for, not even close. And yet throughout all this past year has put us through, we are still here today, finally finishing what we started, and I feel this speaks to all of our characters. It demonstrates strength, determination, and resilience. The journey through completing this major has brought about some unprecedented challenges. For me, I certainly struggled with this major my freshman and sophomore year, bringing many thoughts of self-doubt and having me question, am I even good enough? And yet, Persevering has brought me on the most rewarding path to self-discovery as to who I am as a person, a student, a scientist, as well as a woman in STEM. I recently sat down with my mentor, Dr. Zoe Donaldson, a professor and a woman in the sciences that continuously inspires me every day, and I asked her why the sciences. She simply said, in a profession like this, we have the opportunity to push the boundaries of human knowledge every day. With a degree of this kind, we have a unique opportunity of changing the world by advancing the depth of human knowledge. The scientists who created world-changing vaccines such as the polio vaccine, who created cancer therapeutics, as well as developed tools such as CRISPR, all started where we are right now, a college graduate with a biology degree and an eagerness to making a lasting impact on the world. And we even see the impact that molecular biology has on the modern world with the state of the pandemic. The scientists who created the COVID vaccine, saving thousands of lives while also restoring a sense of normalcy in the world, are not much different than you and I. So to the future researchers, professors, doctors, dentists, lawyers, truly any profession, I hope you all continue to carry the passion, the strength, the determination, and the resilience that we've all so courageously shown these past 4 years into any future endeavor that you may go on. I hope you never forget the impact that we'll have on the world and just how much of an important contribution we have in advancing the depths of human knowledge. And with that, I leave you with one of my favorite quotes by physical chemist and molecular biologist Rosalind Franklin. Science, for me, gives a partial explanation for life. Insofar as it goes, it is based on fact, experience, and experiment. Thank you, and congratulations to the graduating class of 2021. We did it in SCOBUFs.
Hey everyone, my name is Hannah Kuhn-Gale and I am really excited to be a part of our graduation celebrations today, even though we can't all be together. I have met some of the most fun and wonderful and intelligent people on this campus in the Department of MCDB, and I've really missed all of you this last year. Over the past few weeks, I've been thinking about the most important things I've learned in college, and specifically in MCDB. And I've learned some really cool things for sure, but I don't often get to talk about them with people outside of the program, at least in great detail. The stuff we learn is pretty intense and complicated, but this year that changed a little bit. As the COVID-19 vaccines began to be distributed in the US, suddenly our field was on the front page every day. mRNA, DNA, spike proteins, transcription, translation, and so on. And to you and I, those are words we're really familiar with, and we're even excited to hear in this context. But for a lot of people, this is a foreign language, and we saw how this bred misunderstanding and doubt about how safe the vaccines were and how they worked. I work in home care, and a few months ago, I was discussing the vaccines with a patient who was pretty apprehensive about getting one of them. She had a lot of questions about how mRNA worked and this new technology and how much we really knew about it. And with my background in MCDB, I was able to explain to her what mRNA is and how transiently it exists in the body, and how Pfizer and Moderna use lipid bubbles to deliver it to your cells, and how this new technology harnesses your cells' natural machinery to make spike proteins that your body can recognize later on a virus in order to mount an immune response. I was able to ease some of her fears and misconceptions by expanding her understanding. And out of the past 4 years, that was the single most important moment that has come out of my education. That was the moment that I was most thankful to be in MCDB over any other program. The knowledge we have is a privilege and it's powerful, and I think we have a real responsibility to make it accessible to everyone. Many of us are pursuing careers in medicine or graduate school or teaching or something else altogether. But no matter where your path is going, discussing science with non-scientists will most definitely be a part of it, and we have to do it well. I hope you remember how special and unique it was to be a molecular biologist during a pandemic when we've seen just how powerful science and biology are. The science we have done and will do allows us to save lives and to ease fear and to excite and inspire. And I'm really looking forward to working in the field alongside all of you. Congratulations, everyone, and cheers to us.
Hello, welcome to the class of Spring 2021 graduation ceremony. My name is Jenny Knight, and it's my great pleasure to introduce to you the graduates. There have been so many challenges this year, but in spite of all of them, you have succeeded. Today, we celebrate the achievement of your degree in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology. You have learned so much, and we hope that you have success in your future endeavors and that what you have learned here helps you achieve even more. Congratulations. We'll begin with the advanced degree recipients. The Molecular, Cellular, and Developmental Biology Department's primary missions are education, research, and service to the university and the community. Our graduate program is among the top research universities in the world, and we are delighted to confer one new doctoral degree this year.
Hello, my name is Amy Palmer, and I'm delighted to introduce Lara Janaszewski, who is obtaining her PhD in MCDB. The title of Lara's thesis is Infection of Immune-Competent Macrophage with Functional SLC11A1 Alters Global Gene Expression, Regulation of Metal Ions, and Infection Outcomes. In short, in this work, Lara made important discoveries of how immune cells use essential metal ions to fight bacterial infection. Congratulations, Lara.
Next, we have the Chancellor's Recognition Award. This award is given to students who have achieved the highest academic record possible, a perfect 4.0 grade point average, an A in every course they have ever taken. This spring, we are pleased to recognize the following students. Naya Gwen Hammond. Summa cum laude, advisor Dr. Jennifer Riker. The title of Naya's thesis was Evaluating the Role of NPC1 Expression in Triple-Negative Breast Cancer. Naya also had an additional major in biochemistry. Brandon Michael Kriskowski, with distinction. Hannah Louise Kuhn-Gale, with distinction. Also, summa cum laude honors. Hannah's advisor was Dr. Lee Neiswander, and the title of her thesis was Multi-Generational Folic Acid Supplementation Disrupts HMGB1 Nuclear Localization Through Decreased Reactive Oxygen Species. Allison Suzanne Parker, with distinction. Hannah Strausberger, with distinction, and with a minor in political science. Next, we will announce the degree recipients for the Bachelor of Arts. MCDB is among the most demanding majors in the College of Arts and Sciences. Our graduates often go on to fill leadership positions across America and in the world in research, education, health professions, government, journalism, and law. Many of our students have second and third majors as well as receiving academic honors. We are very proud to introduce the class of 2021. Jordan William Affinati, with distinction. Hazim Shabab Almateri, with distinction.
Ay maşallah, analar neler doğuruyor, şu güzelliğe bak, maşallah.
Nayef Mansour Alotaibay. Bailey Anderson, with a minor in biochemistry. Valeria Ayala Alonso, with an additional major in psychology. Elise Corinne Barteld, with an additional major in neuroscience. Helen Bassett, with an additional minor in German. Harris Neil Bendel. Kelly Louise Bergstrom, with an additional major in psychology. Hannah J. Bessie, with a minor in geography. Cora Elizabeth Bishop. Daniel Allen Brunker, with minors in Spanish language and literature. Alyssa Buckley. John Lloyd Carter. Sarah Elizabeth Cates. Kieran McNeil Cecil, with a minor in political science. Zuhair Chaudhry, with distinction, and with an honors of magna cum laude. Zuhair's advisor was Dr. Chris Link. The title of his thesis was Introduction of a Lin65 Mutation into a C. elegans Transgenic Reporter Strain and its Effect on HPL2 Localization. Yongzi Chen, with distinction. His primary major was in biochemistry, with an additional major in MCDB. Zhe Chang, with a minor in sociology. Benjamin D. Crystal, with distinction. Aliyah Clark El Sayed, with distinction. Aliyah also has honors, summa cum laude, and her advisor was Dr. Shelley Copley. The title of her thesis was Comparing How Pseudomonas Putida and Escherichia coli evolve after deletion of PDX-B. Aliyah also has a minor in French. Grace Sue Clark, with a minor in sociology. Natalie Marie Clark, with an additional major in neuroscience. Maddie Cohen. Philip Coleman, with distinction. Bachelor of Arts in Neuroscience, with an additional major in MCDB. Desiree Nicole Comstock, with an additional major in sociology. Kylie Ann Conway, magna cum laude. Kylie's advisor was Dr. Amy Palmer, and the title of her thesis was Characterizing the Role of the Zinc-Responsive Protein MTF1 in Cellular Zinc Transport and Proliferation. Taylor Cook. Lauren Elizabeth Cooper, with distinction. Jasmine Cousins, with an additional major in psychology. Audrey Curtis, bachelor in biochemistry, additional major in MCDB. Chiara Ruel Dart, with a degree in ecology and evolutionary biology with distinction, summa cum laude. Her advisor was Dr. William Robinson, and the title of her thesis was Azacitidine and MCL1 inhibitors in combination may provide novel treatment for patients with melanoma. Her additional major was in MCDB. Jack Conrad Davis, magna cum laude. Jack's advisor was Dr. Zoe Donaldson. The title of his thesis was The Effects of Acute Oxytocin and Mu-Opioid Antagonism on Pair Bond Maintenance in Monogamous Prairie Voles. Jack had an additional major in neuroscience and a minor in philosophy. Alina Andrea Dane. Nathan Doe. with an additional major in Spanish for the Professions and Neuroscience, and a minor in Computer Science. Jack Anthony Druce, with distinction, summa cum laude with Dr. Bob Garcia. The title of his thesis was In Silico Modeling and Analysis of Murine Polyomavirus Infection. Sarah Jordan Eastwood, with distinction, and an additional major in neuroscience. Ivana Marie Evans. Kayla Easel, with a minor in Spanish language and literature. Alyssa Fosnut, with an additional major in neuroscience. Keela Subar Fetters, with distinction. Miklaus Garcia. Ginger W. Jang, with an additional major in neuroscience. Astitwa Raj Gimiri, with an additional major in neuroscience. Victoria Elena Glasser, Bachelor of Arts in Neuroscience, with an additional major in MCDB. Rose Goodman. Jacob Allen Gracer. Carolyn Jane Green, with an additional major in neuroscience. Miguel Guerrero Moreno, with an additional minor in French. Sabrina Hafiz, with distinction, summa cum laude, advisor Dr. Jennifer Riker. The title of her thesis was Reversal of an Epithelial to Mesenchymal Transition Program Reveals Heme Catabolism as an Immune Suppressor in Triple-Negative Breast Cancer, with an additional major in biochemistry. Cassidy Hart, with an additional major in neuroscience. Emily Hay Arthur, with distinction, summa cum laude. Her advisor was Dr. Kenneth Wright. The title of her thesis was Trait-like Stability in Individual Responses of Melatonin Secretion Following Consistent Baseline and Sleep Restriction Circadian Misalignment Sleep. She had an additional major in neuroscience. Brigid Helen Heaney, with distinction, and a minor in business. Isaac Helmick, with distinction in neuroscience, and additional major in MCDB. Andrew Woo Her, with an additional minor in Japanese. Griffin David Hicks, with a minor in ecology and evolutionary biology. Sierra Christine Herco. Edward Hull, with a minor in business. Elisa Victoria Hobson, with distinction. Coralie Claire Hubrexy. Sydney Patricia Jardine, with a minor in history. Megan Elizabeth Joyce, with distinction, and a minor in anthropology. Harsha Murlini Kalagana, with distinction, and a minor in Spanish language and literature. Jack Aiden Kane, with distinction. Seema Karimi. Brian P. Carney, with a Bachelor of Arts in Ecology and Evolutionary Biology with distinction, an additional major in MCDB. Ariel Elizabeth Kennedy, additional major in neuroscience and a minor in Spanish language and literature. Brooke Danielle Kennedy, with distinction, and a double major in biochemistry. Medhani Kiflum, with an additional major in mathematics. Stephen Knight. Taylor Edward Kring, with a minor in French. Malika Kumar, with a minor in business. Roshan Kumar. Andrew Lee, Bachelor of Arts in Neuroscience, with an additional major in MCDB. Ying Li, with an additional major in biochemistry and integrative physiology. Hanali Mercado Lintag. Suchita Lula, with an additional major in computer science. Natalie Luna, with an additional major in Spanish. Rai-Chen Lee. Dukart Houston Wingfield McMillan. Molly Rose Madden, summa cum laude, with Dr. Leslie Leinwand. The title of her thesis was The Functional Impact of an Embryonic Myosin Mutation that Causes Freeman-Sheldon Syndrome. Kayla Ray Marshall. Megan Antoinette Marsilio, with distinction, and a minor in business and philosophy. Abby Mari, cum laude, with Dr. Monica Fleischner. The title of her thesis was Examining the Effects of Spaceflight on HSP72 Concentration in Livers of Mice that have spent extended time in space. Kyle Takagi McCall, the minor in education. Camille Lisette Merrick. Kendra Anastasia Myers. Allison Miller, with an additional major in neuroscience and a minor in business. Hadley Mills, Bachelor of Arts in Neuroscience, with an additional major in MCDB. Lisa Erin Mitchell, with distinction, summa cum laude. Her advisor was Dr. Chad Pearson. The title of her thesis was Basal Body Number Scales with Cell Size in Tetrahymena Thermophilia, with an additional major in neuroscience and a minor in business. Alexis Montague, Bachelor of Arts in Biochemistry, magna cum laude. Advisor, Dr. Pamela Harvey. The title of her thesis was Inflammatory Cytokines in Neurodegenerative Diseases, a systematic review with analysis of temporal expression in the central nervous system, with an additional major in math and MCDB. Jose Santos Navarro Areola, with distinction. Summa cum laude, advisor Dr. Leslie Linewand. The title of Jose's thesis was Characterizing the Effects of MYH7B ASO Knockdown in Cardiomyocytes Maturation in Vitro. Dimai Pham Nguyen, with distinction, an additional major in Spanish for the professions. Andrew Nong. Dalton Stewart North. Davis John Onesian, with a minor in ecology and evolutionary biology. Madison Marie Oros, with a minor in sociology. Marwa Osman, magna cum laude. Her advisor was Dr. Robert Spencer, and the title of her thesis was Red Light at Night, Identifying Unexpected Sources of Circadian Disruptions. She also had a minor in leadership studies. Daniel Pak, with distinction, and a minor in Korean language and culture. Kajal Dilpakumar Patel, with distinction, and an additional major in integrative physiology and a minor in business. Nicole Joseph Peters. Sharon Pickerskill, Bachelor of Arts in Chemistry, an additional major in MCDB, and a minor in biochemistry. Gregory Prahl, with an additional major in neuroscience. Callista Prananta, with a minor in business. Changri Q. Lindsay Nicole Rathbun, with a minor in business. Heather Janae Reichenbach, the minor in ecology and evolutionary biology. Megan Lee Robinhold, with a minor in women and gender studies. Valeria Rodriguez, with an additional major in neuroscience and a minor in business. Emily Louise Rogers. Furman Brandon Rubel, with a minor in business. Gracie Marilyn Sapp, magna cum laude. Gracie's advisor was Dr. Zoe Donaldson, and her thesis was Quantifying Differential Neuronal Activity After Prairie Vole Partner Loss. Ashwin Sarwal, with an additional major in biochemistry. Jordan Michelle Schreiber. Allison Nicole Seclair, with distinction, and an additional major in neuroscience. Megan Ann Skalicki, summa cum laude, with Dr. Justin Brombaugh. The title of her thesis was Constructing a Tool for Identification of Stem Cell Actively Expressing Histone H3 Wild-Type or K2M Mutants. Alexander George Stein. William Joseph Stritzel, Bachelor of Arts in Neuroscience with an additional major in MCDB. Rebecca Sue, with an additional major in biochemistry. Jordan Summers, Bachelor of Arts in Biochemistry with an additional major in MCDB. Nathan Tanagni Tadeli, with an additional major in Neuroscience. Eric Traugut. Madeline Catherine Underwood, with an additional major in Neuroscience. Hendrik Robert van Leeuwen. Taylor Vaughn, with distinction, an additional major in Spanish language and literature and a minor in sociology. Ivy Veen, summa cum laude with Dr. Joel Kralch. The title of her thesis was Uniting Biofilm Treatment Approaches. Justin Lawrence Wang, with a Bachelor of Arts in Astrophysical and Planetary Sciences, summa cum laude with Dr. Brian Hynek. The title of his thesis was Metagenomic Analysis of an Extreme Volcanic Environment and its Application to Life on Mars. He had an additional major in MCDB and a minor in biochemistry. Zoe Warren, additional major in integrative physiology. Chioma Brandy West, with a minor in Spanish language and literature. Sarah Williams, with an additional major in neuroscience. Courtney Janae Wilson, Bachelor of Arts in Neuroscience and an additional major in MCDB. Jasmine Amina Wilson. Isaac Wong. Augustus Shijiro Woomer. Zhenwei Wu. Brianna Marie Yanover, with a minor in sociology. Shunyu Yao. Chuyui Ye. Tessa Josephina Humans, with a minor in business and Chinese. Xiaochuan Zhang, with an additional major in computer science and a minor in computational biology.
On the behalf of the MCDB faculty, we thank the parents, family, and friends for supporting our students. And to our new MCDB graduates, congratulations on your major accomplishments. Go Buffs!